Welcome back to Neo Geo Alpha to Z series. This is episode number 2. We're still stuck in the A's with Andro Dunos. It did take me a while to find this cartridge, and I wanted to make sure I was playing on actual hardware. So let's go ahead and take off. Alright, so we're coined up. Andro Dunos title screen. Here we go. Kind of reminds me of one of the cars from F-Zero. Right away, this is reminding me a little bit of Life Force or Salamander. See, holding my A button down, which is the fire button, charges my meter at the top. Probably should have taken that out. Didn't. Oof. So it kind of seems like our power-ups are automatically applied here. I am holding A down, charge. That's pretty cool. And I know that pressing the B button will alternate weapons for me. I'll go ahead and type 2. That's interesting. What else we got? Type 3. Oh, that's cool too. Boy, that's a pretty weak laser though. Wow! So now that bit the dust playing around with my weapons, get to start over again. Kind of nice we get a little bit of variety with Alpha Mission 2 being a vertical shooter, and now we get to go horizontal. I wondered a little bit about the origin of the name for this game, and again, I admittedly did not do a ton of research, but it always struck me as it's 2 words, clearly, even from the title screen, Andro Dunos, but I always wondered if it wasn't a play on androgynous. There we go, that seems like a good way to go. Maybe get a charge, sneak in a charge shot if I had one. Not a terribly difficult boss here, though. That's 2 loops, and then we're back to trying to, oh yeah, stage clear. That wasn't even a mini-boss. Alright, stage 2, here we go. Alright, kind of like this the most out of my weapons. Seems kind of weak. Seems that's real weak. We found that out the hard way. Ah! But here's a good opportunity to, well, it would have been a good opportunity to use the laser. Again, all things considered for the Neo Geo, this isn't one of the prettier games, and that pains me a little bit to say that. I also know this is one of the earlier games in the series. Now we are going to go vertical. Sense a little bit of a challenge. So I was mentioning that this wasn't one of the prettier games, but it is one of the earlier titles in the Neo's library. Oh, I got guns top and the bottom. So I'll give it a little bit of a pass on that, but it's not terrible. It's just kind of as we progress through the Neo Geo's library, we do see a lot of really good-looking games. Well, this is a real button masher there. That may have almost been more difficult than the first boss. This was put out by Visco, who also did, let's say, Breakers Revenge, some fighting games for the Neo, and then I want to say they did Puzzle de Pawn as well, but I'd have to check that one. fact check that one after the episode and editing. I think they also did some soccer titles as well. Oof, that one right in the face. No charge. Just not learning. I do like how the... Oh boy, man. Gotta catch a break here. I do like how the barrels are switching, so I gotta pay attention. This is another relatively easy boss. Stage 2 down? Wow, this looks a lot like Life Force. This is stage 3. Like most shooters, it seems it's pretty critical to pick up your power-ups early in the level when they're being offered to you. Yeah, overall, this weapon seems to be the one I want to stick with. Definitely the more simplified controls of any Neo game with just 2 buttons. Actually make this a good one for putting on your NES Classic. It has 2 buttons, so you can use the default controller. And it's relatively small, so wouldn't hog a lot of space on the NES Classic. Go ahead and switch my weapon. There we go. Ah! That's almost obscene. I don't want to see the origin of those enemies. Trying out different weapons to see what might work best. I have a lot of that definitely looks like, wow, that was not prepared for that. Some kind of reptilian embryo. Wow, that's a tight fit. You dodge one direction from the arms coming out, and then you get hit with the fire. Stages are relatively short. Similar to Alpha Mission and many other games, nice variety between stages. So we went from the red organic, whatever that was, to now a blue cavern. So it's a change in the palette, so you're not getting fatigued on a level artwork. Again, maybe not the greatest or involved as far as visuals go, but oof, that's tight. But at least they're swapping the color palette for us. It's actually reminding me a little bit already of the first stage. The game is very R-type. Ah, damn it, got greedy. It's very R-type-esque. Wow. The one good thing I can say is I can definitely feel the difficulty gradually increasing from level to level, which is a good thing. It's something you would want. I also don't feel like this game is necessarily unfair in the way that Alpha Mission was. You got a good steady rate of fire. The ship moves at one consistent speed. There's no speed power-up either for the ship, which is interesting. But that's okay for consistency. I kind of like that. Sometimes you'll accidentally pick up a speed power-up and you don't want it. Assuming this is the last boss again. Whoa. There we go. Oh, maybe not. Ugh. I have to watch the ceiling more than the actual enemy in this point in the game. There we go. What color will stage number 5 be? Space. Alright. So again, switching color palettes up. Wow, a lot of fragments coming at you. So I was mentioning that I feel like this is maybe not as unfair in some regards as Alpha Mission, and I know I backtracked on that a little bit after the fact, but this is definitely a game that to me feels consistent. I've got a rhythm down. I understand the controls. Doesn't mean I'm playing it very well, but I understand what's going on, and I've got a rhythm. You might not be able to recognize it, but I do have a rhythm down and understand the mechanics, and it feels natural after a few stages. Whereas Alpha Mission, it really took me the majority of the game to kind of get through that. Wow, this is a lot. But this is definitely the type of thing where if you played this enough and got used to the levels, you'd probably be okay. Now I gotta switch up my gun and fire out the rear here. Oof. Try not to take it. Yeah, the end bosses and most of the enemies have a pattern to them. You can decipher what's going on and come up with strategy. Controls are really simple. So this is a good game to just kind of pick up and play, it seems. I definitely already feel like I would play this. Shit. Easy for me to say. I definitely feel like I would play this more than Alpha Mission at this point. So, oh man, it really forced me south there and then just crushed me. Man, this is tough. This is death after death after death. There's a lot of shit on screen right now. Yeah, the guys on the bottom are forcing you up top and then you just take it in the face. Wow. Wow. But I think this would be a really great cabinet game. So as much as I like playing on a console with the gamepad, I think this will find its way in. Damn it! I think this will find its way into my cabinet behind me for more of an arcade feel. Wow. Oh, there's just really no grace with this, though. You're either in the clear or if there's any pixel overlap, it's going to result in a death. But again, there's a pattern. You can kind of sense what's happening here now. We'll get the orbs coming out again, and then we'll have the rings of death. So the game is consistent in that regard. I feel like an extra floaty out there at me. Try to get cute and take those orbs out, and it's almost better just to dodge them. Yeah. Boy, this one's a long time coming, isn't it? This is another game that would probably be great with a second player. There we go. Well, that wasn't pretty. Stage 6 on deck. See, that's that whole bait you thing where the enemies at the bottom had me thinking to go down there to destroy them, and then that gun sitting up top just took a shot at me as soon as I... Speaking of baiting, those ships almost look like me. I hope you can destroy that. Wow. We've got a lot happening. Now those cannons that we're firing introduce another variable where we've got different rates of enemy fire to judge. I'm assuming you want to take out as fast as you can. This is intense. The difficulty of this game heightens around stage 4. Stage 4 was not a cakewalk, and this certainly isn't either. Yeah, there's a lot on screen. I guess the one good thing about this, at least for me, is that it doesn't make you restart the level or from a checkpoint after you crash and burn. You can kind of just jump back in and resume, which is making this a little bit easier than it otherwise would be. I know there's some titles farther down the line that we're not going to be so lucky with. I do like that the game makes you kind of think about how to use the other weapons. And I'm sure if I played this... Wow. I'm sure if I played this longer, I'd get better at strategizing with those different weapons. That's tough because you've really got to dodge what's coming out at the bottom, and then it forces you up to the top, but then you need to make your way back down to hit the weak spot on the enemy. It's getting cooked there in the bottom. Oh, come on. There we go, charge shot. Whew. Wow, that's ugly. That was real ugly. Stage 7, the core. Wow, stage 6 was pretty tough. I'm sure this won't be any prettier, and I think there's one more to go after this, so... Yikes. Look at that! My word! Ugh. Waste all the power-ups I just collected. Like they intentionally let you pick everything up and then here, deal with this and see if you can hold on to them. Ooh. This 45-degree angle descent, it's not going to be good. A little purple in the background. Alright with that. Reminding me a little bit of UN Squadron. Yeah, this is tough. This is real tough. But it's difficult in a way that I like and appreciate, because I know that it's clearly me. It's me just not being overly familiar and good at the game. So it's a fair challenge. That doesn't look good. I think those things can be destroyed, so you're kind of stuck dealing with caught in the far left. Again, just kind of keep pushing you to the left so that you have to come right and then deal with the consequences. It does look like I'm safe if I stay as far back as I can go on the left, so it's better than the earlier strategy I was trying to employ. I got a charge shot here. Let's give that a go. There we go. Well, that certainly wasn't bad. It was actually, it seemed like a quicker stage than some of the others. Intense, though. I think stage 6 almost seemed more difficult. Oh boy, so now we're moving a little bit more quickly. Interesting. The game is so engaging that I'm really not even upset with the visuals or anything, and graphically, I mean, it's, I don't know, if it's an earlier game, maybe we shouldn't expect too much anyway. Ah, come on! Slip of the finger. There we go. That's pretty cool for assuming an end boss. Wow. No charge shot. Sure, I'll get another one back because this is. Yep, I'm gonna say this isn't gonna go through without a death. So. Ah, didn't expect that. I feel like those things around the perimeter can definitely be destroyed. At least they seem to take damage. It's a barrage of bullets. Here we go, charge shot. Ah. All kinds of surprises. Just ram you right over. Space roadkill. Wow. Yeah, he gets too close to you and then he's just gonna back over you. Is that it? Andro Dunos. Over, done. Well, I definitely enjoyed that a lot more than I did Alpha Mission 2. And again, I feel like it's a fun challenge. it's difficult. I definitely think there's an opportunity to utilize the different weapons in the various stages by the way they're laid out. Controls are very simple, 2 buttons. The level design is well put together so that you can utilize the 4 different weapons that you have. The power-up system is very simplistic and easy to understand. The charge shot borrows a lot from R-Type and Salamander, Life Force, and it makes it really easy to just pick up and play. So yeah, overall I like this one. I'll definitely be putting this in the cabinet and trying it with the arcade controls. I enjoyed it that much. So that's it for this episode of Alpha to Z. This was Andro Dunos. We'll catch you all for number 3. Thanks for watching, everyone.